I'm Nick Harcourt here for Spark, and I want to say hello to Brittney Castro. Hey, it's so lovely to meet you.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about what you do, and then we'll have some fun and talk about music. Obviously, what you do is a little bit different from what I do, but we can all come together on music, I think.
So,
Um, Now, you're the founder and the CEO of Financially Wise Incorporated. You're based here in LA, where I am as well. And I read that your mission with your company is to teach individuals and couples the art of managing their finances. Tell me about working with couples. How did you get into that?
yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's money is an interesting thing because everybody assumes that you should know how to manage it and think about it and earn it and save it. But the reality is, none of us learned it in school. Very few of us got any formal guidance from our parents or teachers. And at some point in your adult life, you just have to say, hey, I need to learn this thing, money, how to save it, manage it, invest it. And then you put two people together and there's like two different universes in a relationship. And then all of a sudden you have to manage the money together when no one had any formal training or experience of like communicating about money effectively. And so I just saw early in my career how many couples really struggled with that idea of coming together, managing the money, not only for themselves, but together as this partnership. And you see a lot of stress because you think everybody should be exactly the same as you, but that's not how it works. Usually couples, most of the time it's like you find someone who complements you. So maybe one's a spender, one's a saver, one's good at investing, one's good at budgeting. It's very rare where two people come together and they're identical about how they think about money, manage it, save it, and earn it. And so instead of like finding the negative, I really just help couples come together, create like some sort of game plan to move forward and highlight each other's strengths, because that's really what it all comes down to. It's like you got to be partners. And if you're better at one thing than I am, then maybe you should be the one leading that, but let's still have the open conversation and dialogue. So I'm not in the dark about it, but I just know that's more of your strength than mine. And instead of it being a negative thing, let's work together and create that harmony. And you really see, I mean, we all know the study about money being the number one cause of divorce still. And
Yeah.
you really see it. Like I've been told many times from clients, like our relationship is so much better now that we're doing the financial planning together. So it's so valuable for everybody, but especially for couples.
Something that always surprises me about couples, married couples, is they tend not to ask these questions about each other before they get into the partnership, as you call it. And then people find out that, maybe they have different ideas about how they should manage their finances, or, all the other things that go along with being in a relationship. Oh, I didn't know that you didn't want kids in the next 2 years, or I didn't know that you want. A lot of people don't really sort of like learn to know each other before they actually jump into things like this. So how do you help people who are coming to this from two different perspectives find that common ground?
Yeah, I think it's kind of giving each person the platform just to communicate about what their concerns are or what their goals are. I mean, I always say I'm not a therapist, but oftentimes
You are.
I would be sitting in a conversation with two people who've literally, like you said, never had these conversations. And all of a sudden I'm just there trying to guide them. And so I really learned how to let each person express, because I think that's a big part of it, express what their true feelings are or their true thought process is, and then just kind of help guide the conversation so that people can just learn, okay, what is it that you think we should do with our money and how is that different than what I think, and try to find like how these two individuals can again like highlight their strengths and come together, um, versus like come apart. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things, and it doesn't end. I think you just get better at it. You get better at having the conversations. You get better at working through the things. But it's not like, oh, once you've had one conversation about money, you're set for the rest of your life or the rest of your marriage. It's like ongoing, like everything else.
Do you give them two bills, one for the consult and then one for the therapy?
I know I should. I always thought like, man, I could definitely go get a license at this point to be a therapist.
Can you tell us one thing that differentiates you in business? Something perhaps that you've learned that you feel is an advantage to you?
Definitely. I would say just my relatability. I've always been this person. I mean, regardless of where our walks of life are, to see people for who they are, connect to them on a real level. I mean, obviously, I'm a financial planner. I've been doing this kind of work for 15 years, but I've never been the one who's like, I'm the financial planner, you're the 5-year-old student, and I'm going to talk to you as if,
Right.
you're this child. That's not who I am naturally. I connect with people warmly, friendly, compassionate. I know how to listen really well. And I think that's been one of my unique differences. It's because when people talk about money, Nick, it's not about money. It's about the things under the money, the fears, the concerns, the goals, the dreams. So being a financial planner, yes, we have to say, here's how you budget, here's how you save, here's how you invest your money, but you also have to be able to hear what the client is truly saying. If they're talking about, should I liquidate my investment account because the world is so chaotic right now? You have to hear, oh, they're afraid. So
Sure.
why are they afraid? And so like really listening and having that ability to connect on a human level is something I've always had. And I learned that was a unique difference. I mean, especially in this industry.
As you've been working your way through this industry, you said you've been doing it for 15 years now. Is there one thing that might have broken you, or anything that you've come across on your journey that ultimately made you stronger?
So many things. I mean, I've been a business owner for 15 years. I've always had a hustle to make my own income and get clients, and so many moments where you're just like, I can't do it anymore. Like I'm not the pressure of running a business or getting clients, doing the meetings and managing your own finances and trying to like cover payroll and then get hit with taxes. And then you're like, oh my God, even me, I'm a financial planner, but running a business, it costs so much money.
Sure.
And there was many times where I thought, I don't know, man, maybe I'll just go settle and get a job, even though I had this vision of what I wanted to create. So I feel like all of those moments have made me stronger because I didn't give up, and I would get back up and figure it out. And then you kind of realize you're resilient, and this is part of the game. If you want to have the type of, freedoms that you have when you're a business owner, there's a lot of positives too. You get to, kind of run your own show.
Yeah.
And to learn that these obstacles are part of it. And I'm choosing to have these obstacles. So see it for what it could help me like grow and become and get better at versus like a negative thing.
So let's get to some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Not that wasn't fun, don't get me wrong, but is there anything about you that people don't know that's something a little crazy, a little wacky, something you do that's a little different?
Crazy or wacky. A lot of people, I'm a big dancer actually, and a lot of people don't know. I mean, I do a little bit on social media, but I have this whole like, I have social media profiles and such, but most of my personal life is not on there. Like my friends, my family,
Sure.
my loved ones, the hobbies that I have, which a lot of it is travel, meditation, dance. But I actually am a creator. Like I think of myself as a creative person. I create a lot of dances, whether I choreograph them for myself or for groups of people. I mean, this year is a little bit different, right? But
Clearly.
like friends, private gatherings, like a
Right.
party or an engagement, we'll put together like a performance, if you will, like whether it's not even one genre anymore because I know like a lot of dances. So whether they want something more lyrical or maybe more fun and lively, or then you kind of come up with the vision of what you want to express through the dance, and that's actually like a big part of my life that I really enjoy.
So dance is going to bring us around quite nicely, I think, to music.
I
Um,
love
but before we do that, did you dance as a kid? I mean, how did you get involved? Was it something that you thought you would do at some
Yeah,
point?
so I danced in high school. I was on the high school dance team, which is probably where it all started. And then in college, I actually did a Tahitian dance team. So I learned hula and Tahitian for 2 years in college. It was just like a extracurricular activity, but they were really good. And then since college, I would just dance for fun. Like I would take dance classes. I mean, we live in LA, so there's dance classes all around. And not that I'm trying to be one of those professional, dancers. Like a lot of people here in LA, you go to the
Yeah.
classes, these are like legit professionals. But I would just do it for the pure enjoyment of it.
Right.
And then, you expand. So I learned salsa and I learned Persian and then I learned, like samba or, all sorts. And now it's just fun.
So you mentioned a couple of dance styles and music styles as well within that. Let's talk about music. What kind of music do you like?
I like it all, Nick. I am a big music junkie. I think music and dance are one of those, everybody will say it's like the universal language of connection, right? You could go anywhere and enjoy company with music and some moving of your body. It really depends on my mood. Sometimes I need to be in like a badass mode, so I put on some gangster rap music, or sometimes I am more like chill and I like the indie rock, or I listen to a lot of like one of the songs I want to share. I think it's an African musician, so it's more like the tribal, you don't really know where it's coming from. Or I like oldies too. I like a lot of 60s era.
Right.
Yeah, those are good.
Do you have a song that you always go back to? Is there something that you listened to when you were younger, perhaps, that, when you're feeling down, you listen to this, it gives you a lift, or something that, when you want to tap your feet, you go back to? Is there something in your musical history that you always come back to?
I have a handful. Like, when you look at your repeat shuffle, it's really a collection. So the one I would say like lately I've been coming back to, it's called Sumbo Yaya. I don't even know if I'm saying this correctly, to be honest. Ali Farka Torre.
Ali Farka Touré, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So you say it so like, wow. Yeah, I love that music a lot. And this one song in particular, I feel like it has like, I've come to it a lot lately because it has almost like an enchanting kind of tone to it, where this year has like been a little, we all know, a little chaotic. So I've just come back to songs like this where I feel like, okay, you could create some harmony or joy in your life, and this is like a really light and uplifting song to me that's more like universal
There's
sound.
a lot of joy in African music. I think
Yeah.
I think he's from Mali. I'm going to look that up because I have the world at my fingertips here.
I love it.
While you're going to answer the second question,
Okay.
what about now? Is there anything you're listening to right now? Is there a jam that you're on right now?
Okay, I just downloaded the new Glass Animals album is
Ooh,
really good.
I like them.
Yeah, there's a few gems in there. There's one that I like called Waterfalls Coming Out of Your Mouth. It's that also too, I appreciate artists who like come up with really cool song names, because you always kind of wonder like what they're doing. And also the new Hot Chip album is really good. So yeah, Glass Animals is great. I think it's called Dreamland 2020.
Okay.
I really like them.
Well, you are eclectic. Actually, Ali Farka Touré was Mali, and he passed away a number of years ago. But if anybody wants to go searching for his music, it's amazing, and he's regarded as one of the greatest guitarists of the last 50 years or so. We don't get to hear about a lot of these people, obviously, in the mainstream. So before I let you go, how did you come across that music? Where do you find music?
I do a lot of just searching on Spotify, but probably that genre. When I search for dance music, I always will go on like YouTube, and I'll put like, for example, like maybe I probably did something like African tribal dance music, and then you stumble across songs or different artists, and that's how I do it. Because I think I find a lot of the gems, like you're saying, like this guy's so well known around the world, but we don't hear it on the mainstream. I find a lot of the good music through just, obviously searching the internet.
Just searching and doing the research and digging. Like in the old days, we'd go into a record store and dig through
Yeah,
through the
yeah.
albums.
That's how it's like my version. I'll, once a week, really just look for new music. I really love it.
So listen, lovely talking to you.
Nice chatting, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, seriously, thanks so much.
Okay,
Great to meet
bye.
you.